Good afternoon, class. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the cash flow statement. Previously, we have discussed regarding the fund flow statements, and we have seen how we prepare the ledgers, how we prepare the journals. Okay. Now we will discuss regarding the cash flow statement. Okay. So according to this concept, this fund is also called as cash. Okay. And it doesn't include any of the most liquid current assets. What does this mean? So in the fund flow analysis, we have observed what are the current assets and current liabilities and non-current assets and non-current liabilities. That means the assets, some are by selling the assets, we can get some money. That's the reason why we call it as a fund. Now here in this concept of cash, here cash means directly general cash only, not the funds, which may not which are not the liquid current assets. What does this liquid current assets means? The asset which you can sell immediately is generally called as liquid current assets. Okay. Okay, when we go with the definition of these cash flow statements, this cash flow statement explains the changes in cash position between the two periods. Okay. It explains the changes in the cash position between the two periods. That means within a period of time, it will be changing from one position to the another position. The cash is changing from one position to the another position, right? So this cash flow statements is what it is going to do is it just indicates the sources of cash inflows and the transactions of cash outflows of a firm during an accounting period. Accounting period means generally from the first of April to the 31st of the March. Actually, right? So in this cash flow statement, first you will have some initial cash, and you will be learning or you will be noting down how this cash is spent. Right? It is also noting the different sources of cash inflows. Right? How we are getting cash. That thing also will be noted there. Right? And we'll have some transactions of cash. How is it outflowing? How is it outflowing? You can see there. That is cash outflow of a firm during an accounting period, right? So we have some advantages of cash flow statements. What are they? We have to see now. First one is planning and coordination of the financial operations. So if you have proper cash flow statement, if you observe that based on the requirement, you'll have the planning, proper planning. Okay, proper planning of utilizing the cash, or if you don't have sufficient amount of cash, you'll be getting from somewhere else. Like this, planning and coordination of financial operations. It is useful in evaluating the financial policies, right? It is useful in evaluating financial policies and current cash position. So you can see comes to know the management comes to know how much cash is needed in the future, how much cash is needed in the future, and what time it is needed, and how can it be arranged, how much can be generated internally and how much can be generated externally. That means If you don't have a proper cash flow statement, you are unable to do all these aspects, right? So if you have this cash flow statement, you can identify for so and so date you require some amount, and if you have already in your hand, you can give that amount. If you don't have, you have to arrange that cash internally or externally, right? That means by withdrawing from your own capital account, or else if you don't have in your account, you have to get from where else, some from somewhere else. That is just like a loan or some other aspects, right? Control device, a control device, you can see a control device in the sense we will be comparing the cash flow statement of previous year and the with the budget for the year, and it is to indicate at what extent the resources of the firm were raised and applied according to the plan, right? That means controlling device in the sense here we will be comparing previous year what is the cash flow, and at present what is the budget, or previously what is the budget, and is that cash sufficient or not. These are all things you can understand there. Okay. Next, useful in internal financial management. This cash flow statement is helpful in internal financial management, right? So that means uh, so you should know how the cash is coming into your business, and how you are maintaining that cash, and how you are paying that cash. Everything you will be understanding with the help of this cash flow statement only. Okay, internal financial management, right? Okay, such as you can see possibility of retiring long-term debts, and planning the placement of planned facilities, or in formulating dividend policies. All this, okay, all these are useful in internal financial management, right? Profit and cash position. You can see profit and cash position. So by seeing this cash flow statement, you can understand. That means if you have invested, say some 10 lakh rupees, and at present if you have 15 lakh rupees, what does it mean? Within some period of time, okay, you are in the profit phase. You are in the profit phase. So generally, what we have to do is, if you have some profit, you have to store that particular profit amount for future needs, right? If sometimes if the business is not going to work properly, means at that particular point of time you will be using amount what you use right now. That means you use the amount what you got right now. That means as a what you say, you got profit and you are using at the time of loss period, right? It enables the management to account for situation when business has earned huge profits yet run without money, or when it has suffered a loss and still has plenty of money at the bank. Okay, uh, the business may be running in loss, but that you might have stored some amount at bank. Okay, whenever it is necessary, we'll be withdrawing those money and we'll be using that money, right? Short-term financial decisions. So this, by seeing this cash flow statements only, you can take some short-term financial decisions. So if the firm has to pay some money after 1 month from today's date, it is possible only from the cash flow analysis and not from the fund flow analysis, right? You should know how the cash is coming into the market within this period of 1 month, and as the time comes, you have to pay that money with respect to task, right? We will have some short-term financial decisions there, right? So if you can see here the distinction between the fund flow statement and the cash flow statement. So here you see subject matter. If you, on the leftmost side, we have given the base, right? Basis regarding that how it will be in this fund flow and how it will be in the cash flow. You can see here. Okay, we will complete up to this topic. Okay, cash flow and fund flow, and next topic will be the ratio analysis. We will discuss that one in the later classes. Okay, so you see now here basis subject matter. You can see the subject matter. Fund flow statement is concerned with the changes in working capital position between two balance sheets data. Sorry, dates, right? So fund flow statement is concerned with the changes in the working capital position, right? Working capital or position between the two balance sheets. That thing is nothing but the fund flow. Okay. Now you go with the cash flow. Cash flow statement is concerned only with the cash flow statement is concerned only with the changes in the cash position between two balance sheets dates. Okay. Cash flow statement is concerned only with the changes in the cash position between the two balance sheets. Next, concept of fund. You can see the concept of fund. It is based on the wider concept of funds, that is working capital. Okay. This fund flow will be mostly concentrating on the working capital, right? This cash flow is a narrow concept fund. Okay, narrow concept of funds. Cash only, which is only one component of working capital here. Here the working capital in the sense we have only the cash, right? So we have a schedule of working capital change. How it will be in the fund flow and cash flow. You can see schedule of working capital changes is prepared in the case of funds flow statement. Okay, schedule. I will have a schedule of working capital and how it changes is prepared in the case of fund flow statements. No such schedule is prepared in the case of the cash flow statement, right? You don't have any proper schedule of how we are going to spending this money, what we are getting inward, right? Nature of the statement. It deals with the changes in the working capital. The nature of the statement, you can see it deals with the changes in the working capital. It deals with the changes in the cash position, right? So the cash flow, the cash what we are having will be paying for different customers, or else we will be paying for the different dealers, like this. That means the cash is changing it from one position to another position, right? Opening the closing balance. Sorry, opening and closing balance. You can see there. Opening and closing balance. You can see, right? The statement does not start with any. So the statement does not start with any opening of the balance of any account and does not end with any such closing balance of any account. This is not regarding the fund flow. You can see the cash flow. The statement starts with opening cash and a bank balances and end with the losing the end with the closing cash balance in most of the cases, right? So in the fund flow, we don't have the concept of opening and closing balances, but in the cash flow, we have this concept of opening balance and the closing balances. So differences of sides, you can see differences of both difference of both sides of fund flow statement is either the increase or decrease in the working capital, right? Difference of both sides of cash flow statements is of closing balance of the cash, right? Current liabilities, you can see the current liabilities. It shows the changes in the current liabilities like sundry creditors, bills payable, like this. Current liabilities means so current liabilities means you have to pay some money to the creditors and bills payables. Okay, those are nothing but the current liabilities in case of the funds flow. The cash flow it is different, right? It does not show the changes in the current liabilities of the enterprise. It will never show the changes in the current liabilities of the enterprise. That is in the current liabilities of the cash flow statements. Next, you go with the utility. Fund flow is helpful in long-term planning. Okay, fund flow is helpful in long-term planning and cash flow is useful in short-term planning, right? Cash flow is useful in the short-term planning. If you have cash in your hand, you can plan immediately anything, right? So fund flow is helpful in long-term planning, right? Fund flow will be helping in long-term planning. When we go with the period of this fund flow and the cash flow, you can see it is prepared for longer period. But in this, cash flow, you can see it is prepared for the shorter period of time only. Okay, this is the differences or the distinctions between the fund flows and the cash flows. Basically, the fund flow means it will be just like it will be some asset also. Okay, whenever it is necessary, you can sell those. That means some raw material which is in process or which is in the godown or the finished product which is present in the good. These all things are nothing but the fund flows only. Cash flow means only the cash. Okay. So in the next class, we'll see this ratio analysis. Just to complete these aspects only, it's sufficient for right now. Okay. Okay. So we have finished this cash flow statement and ledgering, journaling. Okay. Funds flow, ledgering, a journal. Okay. Double entry system. Everything we have seen. Right. So ratio analysis will start in the afterwards. Right. We'll start the ratio analysis later.